So, Lone Rider here, and maybe like me, you've occasionally been listening to the news and you've heard a report on the radio or some other media that there was a series of crimes over the weekend, and they'll talk about, there was a shooting here, there was a mugging here. As far as the shootings go, one of the things I've always been amazed by is nobody ever talks about the context. Which is strange, because gun control is a big political hot-button issue, and everybody's always willing to talk about, we need this law or that law. But when it comes to the daily news reports, nobody ever seems to remember the laws that are already on the books, right? I don't know about you. Every time I hear that there was a shooting in New York, any part of New York, the first thing that comes to my mind after the initial reaction of, oh my gosh, that's horrible, I feel bad for the people who got hurt, literally the next thing that comes to my mind is, another crime that gun control didn't prevent. And isn't it strange that there are these shootings pretty much every week in a place that has some of the strictest gun control laws in the country? It's awfully odd that nobody ever talks about that part of it, right? So what I'd like to propose is a change in the reporting method. And this will not be done, okay? I guarantee you, nobody will ever do this. But I'd like to propose it, just as sort of an intellectual experiment. I'd like to see, every time I hear a report on the news, whether it's on the radio or whether it's on the TV or whatever, of a crime involving a firearm, I would like the news people to also list all of the strict gun control laws in effect in that particular location that failed to prevent that crime. So, for example, if somebody commits a crime involving a firearm in a big city like New York that has really strict gun control laws, as part of them reporting on the act itself, I expect them to also mention, by the way, this occurred in a city that has, X number of strict gun control laws. And, not for nothing, but I think there's a reason they don't do that, and I think there's a reason they never will. And make of that what you will, but I would love to see them start doing that. I would love to see that be the new standard, that, they report on the crime, and then they report on the legal context, so that maybe people could make better decisions when they're asked to trade away their constitutional rights for the illusion of safety. But somehow I don't think that's ever going to happen, right? It would be too much for people to be reminded of the poor legislative trade-off they're being asked to make on subjects like gun control every time they turn on the evening news or they're listening to a news report in their car on their way to work. It would just be too much. I mean, you can't have people informed of what's actually going on, right? But I wish you did. Lone Rider out.